Hello and welcome to Stable Hands Pet Design Studio, where we will be bringing you animal-themed crafts and DIYs. Please join us on this new journey by hitting the red subscribe below. You can also find our social media and other helpful information in the description box below. Hello and welcome. Tonight I'm going to be doing turtle paint pours. I did receive these as part of a kit from Coast DIY Bar, located here in Norfolk, Virginia. So I'm just getting the turtles set up. These are little extra baby turtles, and we will do them at the very end. I'm using some wooden beads to set my turtles on so that when I pour the paint, it can drip over the sides and the turtles can dry up off the table so it can dry on a smooth surface. We have two turtles, two big turtles, two big cups. We'll be turning them upside down. I don't know if this is the best angle for you guys, but here we are. And we need 3 colors per turtle. So for this turtle on this side, I'm going to do this green, this blue, and white. And the turtle on this side, I'm going to do this green, yellow, and white, which kind of reminds me of a John Deere tractor. And we do need to stir the paints, so I will remove the lids and stir up the paints. Maybe. Probably should have had this done a little bit beforehand. There we go. And I will be adding silicone. It's what creates the little circles, makes the pop of circles. You just need a tiny, tiny bit for these cups. And you just stir it in. I'm going to put it in the yellow and in the blue on this one. And again, that's silicone. And these are pour paints, so they have their paint mixed with a medium to help make them a little bit more liquid pourable and let them do their thing. You can buy kits at the stores. So we're just mixing up the paint. That is a dry piece, so we should probably take that out because you don't want that getting stuck on your thing, on your turtle. And then I'm going to mix up the green. It'd probably dry a little bit from sitting in the cup for a little while. I've had the kits for at least a little over a month at this point, which is why we want to stir it up. Make sure everything's still mixed uniformly. Remember, we put the silicone in this yellow. That's why we already had the popsicle in there. We can use the same white stir for this white because it's all the same. Even though we have these big cups here, we will not fill them all the way. I filled them a little over half for the last turtles I did. which I can show those to you here in a second. Maybe, if I can reach them. So I did these turtles the other night, and this is kind of what we're going for. Those circles that you see are because of the silicone that has been added to the paint color. That's the big turtles. And here's the two little baby turtles that I will be doing at the very end. Okay, I'll put those up there. Alright. So in this portion you just add paint to the cups. You want to alternate colors so it mixes, so it layers, not mixes, so it layers in. And I do have an old manila folder down on my table to protect my table because there will be paint going in multiple directions. The other night I used my silicone mat and that paint is still drying. Once it's dried on the silicone mat, you can peel it off. So I gotta give it a few extra days to dry. Again, we're just alternating the paint in different orders and different styles, and it will meld a little bit inside the cup, and the weights of the different paint colors will do its kind of thing in there while it's sitting, and we want to let it sit and do its thing for a little bit before we turn the cups upside down. Mixing some green, yellow, I guess, not green. White. And you can do very small layers. You can do big layers. You can alternate between small and big. It's all kind of whatever is floating your boat at the moment. I'm not using all the paint in these cups just because I know it's more than enough, and we likely have more than enough we have more than we need for sure in the cups currently. So I'm just gonna pop these lids back on and move them over here out of the way while it's doing its little thing. Oops. Trying to get the party started early. So this being in front of the camera is new for me. We shall see how all this goes. So we have our 2 cups full of paint, as you can see. It's in there mixing and doing its thing. We have paper towels. I'll keep my fingers clean. We have 2 turtles. Oops, let's not dump the paint on me. And then we have little baby turtles, which I will show you at the end. So for this, we're going to put the turtle on top of the cup and flip them over So the cup is now upside down on the turtle. Now we're going to do the same thing for this one. Place the turtle on top of the cup, flip it, put the turtles back on the beads. Make sure they're on there and stable. The paint is dripping down, obviously, from the cups. The other night when I did it, I had to break the air suction on the cups when I lifted the cups. Alright, you don't have to let it sit too long. So, and this is a bit messy because of the head and the legs. So we're just gonna open it up. You can see the bubbles already forming there. So we're gonna pick it up, tilt it towards the head. So it runs off the head. And then we gotta tilt it over here to get a leg. If you're talented enough, you could potentially have some of this paint pour back into a cup. We're going to tilt it back this way so we can get some paint up there to do the other flipper. And then down. And then we're going to hopefully make sure we get paint into both of these rear flippers. And go that way. And that way. Because you want it dripping off the side. And then we're going to go back towards the head a little bit, so the paint can run back down that way. So we have plenty of paint running in every direction. Alright, it's probably no point in wiping my fingers, but that's what I do. So that's our first turtle. You can watch the bubbles appear and shift and change as the paint moves and shifts. And we're going to do the same thing for this one. Have to break the seal a little bit. Have the cup over here. Tilt it that way. And then get this foot. We didn't get that foot all the way. And if you miss getting the feet, all the flippers all the way, I can show you how we can fix that in a minute. So you're going to tilt this way. There we go. Tilt back this way, you get the flipper. Flipper, flipper. Tilt that way to get this flipper. You can see the colors adjusting and shifting as we tilt and shift. There we go. Clean off my fingers a little bit. You watch and see the bubbles are coming out and doing their thing. And this obviously is thick. The paint is kind of thick. So it will take time for it to dry, at least 24 hours, if not longer. Now with our little tiny turtle friends, the side that you want paint on, we take that and you dip it in this extra paint that's under here. And you smush them down a little bit. Again, another messy process. And then you pick them back up. And you can see that it's kind of extra thick and a little bubbly. But as he sits there on his beads, oops, he will even all out, just like the big turtle. And then we'll do the same with this turtle. Have to find a good spot. We might have to pick up our big turtle to be able to find a good spot. There we go. Let's do here with the yellow and the white. these two little baby turtles, but if you had more pieces of small things that you wanted to dip in the extra paint, you could do that. You can get lots of things. The only other wooden things I have here are popsicle sticks. But, so that's that craft. We have some extra paint there. So yeah, so they will do their thing. It's a little hard to see against the paint, the bubbling and the separation. Can pick it up for you to see closer. So that's turtle one. He's got a lot of white coming through on it. This is turtle two. Just be careful picking it up and because it's dripping and moving and whatnot. And as I said, the paint, it will take, you want at least 24 hours for this to dry. And then you will have these little guys. As I said, finished product. That's the turtle, green, blue. It's completely dry. The little ones are. The big ones, they still looked a little wet. One other quick thing while I'm thinking about it. You want to check underneath and make sure there's no drip spots. Because depending on what you're going to do with these turtles, you want them to be able to lay flat. And if there's any paint drips underneath, and they dry that way, then you will have bumpy backs instead of flat backs. So all you do is you take a popsicle stick, turn it on its short side, and run it along the bottom edges of the turtles. And try not to move the turtles, obviously, which I'm failing at miserably right now. Just to get any of those, whoops, there goes the turtle, bumps off, so that you have a flat surface to have on the back of your turtles. I'm just going to put that in that cup. So yeah, so there's your turtles, your paint pour turtles, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Just leave them in the comments below, and we can go from there. Again, thank you to Coast DIY Take Home Turtle Pour. That's where all the supplies and the turtles and the paint came from for this DIY. Thank you. Have a great night.